Hi, hello, Jun Yuan here. Hi. Okay, today we are here for another exciting project showcase at Ola. Okay, so we are once again back at Sengkang, and today's project is more like a modern contemporary project that is also inspired by my previous BGO Sengkang project. So today we are here at the foyer of this three-bedder condo. In this foyer here, existing layout already gives you a very nice some sort of like entrance to this space. So what we need to do is to incorporate some storage here together with like the storage on this side of the wall. So this side of the wall is actually the DB storage that was originally given by the developer. So we wanted to connect these two spaces together with this entire full height storage here. And this idea of it being like an L-shaped storage also inspired me to do this L-shaped handle here design here for this entire house. So it sort of like sets the design language for the space for this carpentry. And for this area here, in order to do like a door to cover the existing DB storage and the hole that they created inside, right? In a way, you actually need your create another sort of like a panel here to hold on to the side door here, which is why we decided to finish this entire extension of the from the wall here to create this homogeneous look for this entire corner here. So this whole space is finished with this entire very more luxurious wood material. And then at the end of this corner here, we wanted to create some sort of really highlight this corner in the sense. Normally you will see me do things like curves and whatnot, but in this case, I really wanted to showcase this very fun carpentry whereby we do things in a more again, it's the 45-degree angle, but now at the side. So from this end, so when your carpentry is being exposed on both ends, this is something that you can do to make sure that both sides looks a little bit more uh, finished so that you do not have this kind of like overlapping details and all come to a point, which is the point of a 45-degree drawing at the first place. Lah. Yeah, and then when this entire simple material palette is being done in a more refined way, that's how you do minimal stuff in but still look more expensive and more refined. Yeah, over here, whenever we do something like this that's a little bit low at this height to put things, we always finish with like a small light here just to highlight this space. And then speaking of lighting over here, we are now bringing you all to this TV feature wall. So I always like the idea of having lights at the foyer. This is something like coming home and you see like a light shining is kind of nice in a sense. And it's an opportunity to use feature lights to make your space a little bit more interesting. Lah. So even subsequently, even if you want to change the lights, also even possible in a sense. So with a light over here, we finish with the same dark wood as the background. And then we come to this very long and nice TV wall that is given to us over here. Yeah. So this TV wall finishes with a curve. You have seen us dance curve multiple times. It's something that we always like to do. Mainly is to finish the edge here, but also it gives this TV visual wall more visual interest. And what we have done here differently is we even extend the wall all the way from the ceiling all the way down as a second layer behind. So with this additional feature wall here, one good thing is it houses the curtains. You know, when your curtains are all tucked in, very nicely. And another thing is it also helps to divide, allows us to finish this TV feature wall intentionally more recessed back. And then we also have this TV console here that's also slightly recessed back. So all these like in and out thing, right? You will see is a common thing that we do. Okay, can't say it's a common thing. Right? It's a detail that we do that we do to ensure that things have our commentary are a bit more articulated. So over here, again, you will see us do the 45-degree drawers for all these TV consoles so that you do not have this entire thick layer or panel on top. Lah. So everything looks very clean from afar. And when you have a very more refined and restricted limited palette to play with, it's always good that your designs are a little bit more clean and expensive in a sense, especially meaning big lah, so that it looks a bit more luxurious, especially for a TV feature wall. The more rectangular it is, the better it is. Ah, okay. Then now, okay, so another thing about this TV console is that a TV console is usually designed around this like 45, 50 cm. So it's actually like a perfect sitting height. So I really wanted this console to be made to be fit for sitting, like meaning we have to work with some engineering and stuff to make sure that it's strong enough to sit. So that since we are so near the foyer area, you can wear your shoes here. When you come back here, you can put things here. So this is something that we do that I thought was really functional, and right from the start that I wanted to do something like this. Whether is it a settee, whether is it a console, this height is really good to have something like a stool height here even for the foyer area to be it for make it the most functional. Yeah. Then over here you can see since this thing is being lifted off, right? Yeah, this console is also lifted off. So everything feels a bit lighter and therefore it has this more contemporary look to it. Then now to our more another exciting area, which is the kitchen. Originally, the kitchen is closed off. There is a swinging door, which doesn't make sense, and kind of didn't like the original carpentry as well. So we finished this carpentry design in this kitchen that is like I guess very me. we For me when I do kitchen, we focus more on the functional aspects of it. But in this detail of this kitchen island, we really wanted to make sure that this island is extended all the way. This part here is really just like an extension. It's to give an illusion that this island appears to be bigger. Simple things like this really makes a lot of difference when it comes to kitchen design like this. We didn't really detail much about this entire kitchen shape. We keep it very clean. And then, which is why the materials that you see now across this entire center backslash becomes very prominent because it becomes the focal point of the kitchen, whereas the rest of the carpentry are a little bit muted. The wood that we chose here is actually similar, but it's just slightly a touch warmer than the other woods. Yeah, over here. And then what I also like is that just nice that this kitchen hood here matches the width of the typical top cabinet. So everything here can flush very nicely and cleanly. Yeah. So to me, having a very clean looking kitchen is nicer than a very detailed but not very resolved kitchen. So that's why what we are we do things like this to emphasize this material and let it out pop also. Yeah, then another thing that we do here is we actually even extend this wall so that it can house the depth of the fridge. So usually a fridge is like way thicker and deeper, right? So in a way from outside, you don't really see the fridge, so it looks a bit more clean from this angle. Yeah, so these are the simple things that we do to ensure that everything is like resolved and nicely done, even though it's a more simple aesthetics. Yeah. Okay, then now to the back of this drawer. I just want to talk about this painting because Kyle wanted something colorful, so we end up choosing this very playful, almost like a gallery art, wall art thing. Because of this, how muted this house is, as you can see, having a pop of color here is actually very interesting. So like even like just now the kettle you might see at the kitchen there, or like the details in all these furnishing that you can play with, you can actually add a lot more colors here, like instead of something more simple and stuff. And then whenever we get to choose like furnitures, we will choose something that's a bit more interesting in the sense in terms of whether it's a material or shapes that are harder to achieve in the typical carpentry sense. So things like even like a metal legs like this recessed top, curved edges, solid wood doors, all those things. Yeah. So a simple furniture like this, okay, I won't say it's simple like a furniture with a little bit more details like this can really pop in a house that's a little bit more clean. Yeah. Then of course, over at this wall, we did some sort of simple wallpaper. Cause it then blends a bit more with all the wood textures of the door, so this entire space feels more cohesive in a sense. Now we move on to the bedroom. Yeah. So for this bedroom, okay, so briefly talk about this door here because this was actually the original storage that was given by the developer, and then we changed the door and work a little bit of the interior side to make it a little bit more functional. Yeah. So this is also another thing that you can do for your house if you want your whole house to look a bit more cohesive also. Yeah. So similar gesture like what we did for the foyer in a sense. Okay, then now to the bedroom. Okay. So for this bedroom, the focus is mainly on the storage here. Once again, we did the whole center recess handle thing finishing at the last door halfway through, and then the color palette is like different now, whereby the walls, the door face is lighter, and then the recess handle is the darker part. Yeah, so opens up like this with this way and this way. And then at the side panel of this wardrobe, we have a side panel with another recessed detail here to house the wall light. And then over here, we finish with a simple console. Yeah. Yeah. Nowadays, you will see people like to integrate the console together with the wardrobe, but in this case, I rather it separate. Find something that fits the space. And then we finish with a wall art custom bed frame with a simple round light at the end. So to create this more like asymmetrical look for the space. Yeah. Ooh. Okay. Yeah. That's all for this bedroom. Yeah. Okay, then let me talk a bit more about the lighting of the space before we end this video. So coming back here, the curtains in your living area is usually kind of like the most important, especially when you have a very big like sliding doors that opens out to the balcony. So opting for something like an S-track will always look really nice because it's yeah, it gives you a very even look to it. And then we house the abstract curtains into a recessed false ceiling over here. And then you can notice in this house for this living area, because there are like two aircons, and I personally don't really like the shape of those aircon pelmets. So we rather just cut through a straight line across here and then create this entire V shape here. Maybe need to go see from another angle. Maybe from there. Yeah, sorry, yeah. So you can see how these two icons here, and then we go through a straight line across. Then this also give us the opportunity to install like a cove lighting for this entire space. Yeah. So this entire living area, you can just at night you can just use the cove light without the recessed ceilings and stuff like that. Recessed lights. Yeah. So I will end off the video here. Thank you for supporting us and watching this video. Also really appreciate our client Nigel Yvonne. Thank you for really trusting us in this project. We ended up doing more things than intended, but really like the result of this, how the house turns out. And then also need to thank our partner Cover Space William and for handling the projects on site. And with this, we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.